this video we're going to have a look at creating something really simple like this here. And it is fairly simple. It looks like it's pretty complex, but it's really not. It's actually fairly straightforward to create this model here. And it's it's not too difficult. So let's get started. Let's go create a new one. I don't want to do this. Now what I am going to do with this is we're going to scale that brick in a little bit, scale it along the Z-axis so we kind of get a good brick shape. And then I'm going to go into front view. I actually want to get a good brick shape that way, it'll be easier. So I'll go S, X, and S, Y, like that. And one is front view, or you can click, pretty sure I'm front view. Yep, you can click the Y up here. Should say front orthographic up there. And then what I'm going to do, select this whole thing, hit G, Shift D, and that didn't work. Shift D, that'll actually move it. And I'm going to bring it up, and I'm just going to kind of sit it on top, to be honest. I'm not too worried about how exact it is. I'm going to scale it up a little bit though, like that. Then Shift D, Z, bring it up again. Scale this one down a little bit. And I want to make sure that they're pretty close here. Okay, there's like a gap there, but it's not going to matter. You're not going to see it in the final thing. So that's all good. And then I'll do the same thing again. Front view, Shift D. I keep hitting G to grab it, and that's what's doing my, making it confused. So Shift D, bring it up. And I'm going to kind of sit this one a little bit to the side here. And maybe scale it up a wee bit. Over there. Shift D. I bring that one and just shift it across. Okay, so now the next one I'm actually going to start making that arch. And so Shift D, bring that up. Set it about there. And I'm going to select nothing. I'm going to put on X-ray mode, and there's a reason for this, because I want to select this vertex here. But if X-ray mode is not turned off, it'll only select the one I can see and not the one directly on the opposite side of it. And then when I move it, it will look funny, and you'll see what happens if I just click on that. So if I just click on that and hit G, you see it's not moving that one at the back. So I'll move that one down. I'm going to move it across a little bit, and I'm going to do the same for this one here, just so I kind of get this wedge shape here. Now I might make it a bit more of a wedge. Get this part, bring it more of a wedge in here. Now this bit's the easy bit. I'm just going to hit L, select all the vertices associated with that. Just going to scale this one up a little bit more, just position it there. Then Shift D, move it here, rotate it, I can scale it a little bit. And I want to just make it so that it is sitting pretty much right on there. Now before I go any further, and I am going to go further, I'm going to select all of these and move them along the X-axis to about here. And then I'm going to go and add a modifier, which is going to be a mirror modifier. Okay, now that mirror modifier, if you're in front view, it should automatically mirror it this way, and we'll be good to go for adding that. Now one thing we do want to turn on is clipping. That's going to make it, if we happen to bring something over here, it's going to join it up on the other side and make sure it doesn't actually kind of produce real weird shapes. So back to here, deselect everything, hit L. I'm going to duplicate that, Shift D, bring it out here, rotate, scale, and back to here. There's probably a better way to do this, or a more efficient way, but this is pretty straightforward, I think. I'm kind of just scaling each one up just as I see fit, and pretty much just making it look how I think it would look. Now this last bit here is going to be a sort of capstone, so I'll scale that one up a little bit more, get it to a line, scale it up, and then I'm just going to select these and pull it across, maybe to there. Actually, I could probably even hit here, and then no, I don't want to do that. Just bring it across to there. That's fine. This one here, I'm going to bring down so that it is flat. Okay, so then we've got this kind of shape here, and it's pretty decent. Next thing we want to do is go ahead, select all of these and hit Control B and just bevel them just slightly. That is going to give it that kind of brick effect. I'll just turn off see-through mode, and you can see now that it looks pretty good. Kind of looks like a stylized dungeon door frame. We could put some things in here, and so you can be creative with this if you want, but it is easier to do this in mirrored mode. I suppose you could make a more unique one that doesn't look exactly the same on both sides. Now what we're going to do shortly is start combining this stuff with other things that we've done to make an interesting little scene. Now you can make like a grate that goes across here, or a door, and I'm pretty sure that you should have the skills to model that by now. So if I just go back, I'm not going to save this one. If I open my arch here, you'll see here that the door I'm not 100% on that door. If it's not going to be opened, then this is fine. All I've got is a plane that's mirrored, and then I put some ridges in that plane. If it's not going to be open, then it's all good because you'll never see in here. But if I was to have the door animate and open, I'd probably want to make it more solid and model it a bit better. This one here is just cylinders, long cylinders, with some ring cuts on them, and just adding a little extrusion outwards at the bottom and extrude downwards and then scale inwards, and then just kind of wonking them up a bit. Select a few of the ring cuts on here, move them about, and just try to get them to look a little bit, I guess stylized would be the term, cartoony, low poly, and that's pretty good. So we could animate this going up. Could create an animation of that going up and kind of mask it off at the top here so that you can't see that part. There's lots of things we could do with that. Probably have it go down would be the better way to do it in this case, into the floor. But we're going to create some little scenes with this in the future. In the next video, we'll look at creating a few more low poly assets that we can use in creating our dungeons or our landscape, I guess, whatever we're going to do with it.